Dear readers of the European Sting, there's one thing that drew my attention last week. The statement by the President Obama, under Berlin's Brandenburg Gate, that if it hadn't been for the PRISM surveillance program, the world would have been annihilated by terrorists. Of course we are talking here about the until recently secret U.S. spy program, according to which the American government literally has a contract with the biggest American Internet companies, that gives 100% open access to their servers and our data. If you used to feel safe about the intimate photos you recently exchanged on Gmail with that girl you met during summer holidays, start blushing now. Chances are that the agents of the National Security Agency of the USA had also a peep at your until yesterday concealed birthmark, in their quest for photos of an Al-Qaeda from Afghanistan. The American story that says that in order to fight terrorism in the world we also need to know what you had for lunch the day before yesterday has been said a million times after 9/11. Mr. Obama in Berlin last week opened the kid book and read to us the fairy tale once more. The problem is that he picked the wrong audience. In Europe data privacy is sacred and we are roughly about 1 billion times more sensitive than his average American voter on this one. Even if you brainwash a European, you will never be able to convince her that for safety reasons the government needs to monitor her Skype call logs too. The European culture demands a different approach on this one, but let's face it. The people that name a national baseball championship, World Series, often have a severe difficulty to grasp that the world is not the United States of America. Am I so against the protection of global security from terrorism after all? On the contrary. Terrorism is a threat to world stability today and we all need extra care by the governments to share information and contemplate with this modern plague. There is a limit to everything though. Obviously you don't need unauthorized free access to my Facebook-like logs in your endeavor to make the world a safer place. Do you? Unless you are interested in knowing how many photo likes I do while Dorothy is asleep. This kind of information I'd like to keep for myself if you don't mind. As the most wanted man currently in the world, former CIA agent, Edward Snowden, revealed at the beginning of this month, with the PRISM program the NSA does not need any authorization or court order to put her hands inside your stuff and my stuff, in order to find one email that a Taliban wrote to Madonna's fan page 3 months ago. And imagine that this has been happening since 2007. It has been 6 whole years that your emails and her Facebook account could have been freely breached just for the sake of it. This is preposterous. At the same time Mr. Obama tried to speak to the heart of the Germans by telling them that numerous terrorism attacks in Germany have been stopped thanks to the PRISM. Oh, my God. Barack thought he was having an election campaign speech in Alabama last week in Berlin. We absolutely do not buy this. The terrorist attacks have been saved thanks to the efficiency of the German police and the information shared with them on specific wanted suspects. You do not need the PRISM for that. You don't need to have access to my cousin's FaceTime for that. Get a court order for specific accounts and persons and, if granted by court, take as much time you need to read every email and analyze every Facebook poke you want for the specific suspects. The PRISM is totally unacceptable by anyone that is not brain damaged from excessive Kentucky Fried Chicken. If the American voter nods along, feel free to have 50 PRISMs and 2 government-owned cameras in every room of American citizens' homes, to make sure that no terrorist cockroaches enter the garden's back door. But this kind of crap has no place here, unfortunately. In Europe the only thing we have to protect us from this kind of unliberal and absolutely obscene programs is our culture and only that. The current data privacy regulation we have in Europe dates back to the Noah's era. Take for instance how the European Commissioner for Justice attempted to exert any pressure on the U.S. Attorney General on the issue a couple of weeks ago. It is literally for laughing. But what could she have said to him? How can you defend the data privacy of the European citizen if you have the same regulation since 1995? All in all, Europe should never surrender to the American lust for terror of the masses. Data privacy is sacred in the old continent and will remain like this. We absolutely need to get rid of all the Brady-Pass policies that further delay the new upgrade of the regulation in Europe. We need the PRISM out, and to do that we need a very strict and well-designed regulation for privacy. Now, until next week, join the hive.